So at one stage we heard like some kind of scary drum. Kept going really fast. Then we turned around the corner. There's like 2,000 Pikachus. And the stormtroopers walked by us, Darth Vader walked by us, and wizards. Because I'm Connor's mentor and idol, so I had to tell him it's okay.
Cut that from the podcast.
But, to the Station Road podcast.
Welcome. This is the 5th podcast. We're at episode 5 of the podcast. My name's Calvin Doyle. I didn't even mean that. Fuck, you haunted the chair, man. You haunted the chair. Shit.
My name's Calvin.
Sean Kiley here.
This is Ryan High. This is Calvin Doyle. I'm Connor English. And together, the three of us make films. We make independent short and feature-length films, narrative and documentary, and we're based in the Midlands of Ireland. That's it, I think.
Very beautiful.
Docks Ireland, yes. So like I was saying, we didn't tell Ryan about any of it because I wanted to tell him here on the podcast. So Ryan, we went up to Belfast there 2 weekends ago, as you might have known. Beautiful. And it was I wanted to go for a little bit longer, but just with work and stuff, and then I kind of said to a few people, you should come too. And then I just totally didn't text anyone. So sorry about that.
That's okay.
And I completely forgot as well about it.
Yeah, I was kind of putting it right on the, I'll go just at the last minute. But it was something that I really wanted to go. So my film, Roma, a film about chips and wonder, is a short film that I made in 2023 and 2024. And it got selected, which I was very happy about. And I didn't really know anything about Docks Ireland before I went. I just knew that when I was applying for stuff on Film Freeway, this one was a specific documentary only film festival, which is good because, you know, then you're trying to not really compete with narrative films, I think. And
yeah, that can be seen. I think that can be hard. Like if
it definitely can be hard because I suppose like narrative films, well, I'm just kind of generalizing, but they're probably easier to sell and stuff, right? And they're, you know, so it was nice. And then also, I think, which is nice about this festival was that I felt there was an emphasis towards maybe a more arty documentary style. Like seeing documentaries as an art form in its own, not just kind of straight up, you know, kind of Netflix style, here's, you know, the story. They left a little bit more to the imagination and had so I can see why Roma fitted into it quite nicely because, like you said in your YouTube video there today, Calvin, we all go through rejections. The Roma has been rejected from a lot of film festivals. Do you know what I mean? And that can get you down sometimes. So I was very happy that they got put into this. But like I said, I didn't really know too much about Docks Ireland. I knew it was in Belfast, and that was kind of about it. So me and Calvin went up, and it was really good. I was probably one of the best festivals that we're ever at.
Unreal.
No joke.
it was really good, and you could tell. I never really knew much about it, but when you got into it and then you sent me the brochure, I could tell off the brochure. You know, you can tell from the branding sometimes. They're like, this is a good one.
Yeah, it's not kind of thrown together or whatever. Again, probably receives quite good funding, which is essential for these things to keep going. It was going to be over a week, so it was like a lot of events and a lot of films, which is great as well. You know, because then I would love to go for a week, and maybe next year that would be the kind of goal, is to go up for the week and just hang around and go see a few things. But me and Kevin went on Saturday and Sunday, and the first thing that we went to see was the competition charts. So the ones that they've chosen that can potentially win the prize of best short or whatever. And we watched 5 or 6 films in the Queen's Ulster Cinema, I think that's what it's called. And it was class, very cool little venue, like proper cinema, like lovely, you know, really nice, you know, and had like money in it, you know, spent on it, which was really good. So we went and watched that, and Calvin's got a list of films there, but
I got them.
These are noteworthy films.
Yeah, I mean, like I even when it first started, like within the first 2 minutes, I was like, oh my god, this is like where we're supposed to be, because the films were like of the things that we like, right?
Yes, very good. Well, we got up there. What did we drive? 3 hours or whatever, 3.5 hours. And it's really sunny, so we got out and we got a bit of food, I think.
Yeah.
Went into this place. The minute you get into the theatre, was the Queen's Film Theatre. I don't know what it's called, but it was like this really cool, like arty cinema or independent cinema, was it?
Independent, yeah, kind of like the IFI or something like that. It's like, it's small, not like big, massive cinema, but nice kind of foyer and all that.
Intimate.
Sort of yeah, very
very
cool.
good, and they have like different movies in it, not just I guess the mainstream ones are in it. But anyway, we got in and you could tell the buzz was good in there. It was cool vibe. Went in. Then there's this film on called Relic that was directed by Sam Howard, right? And it's a short film about. I'll read out what the synopsis is. A blood-stained bandage that once belonged to Padre Pio now belongs to Father Brendan. Every month, people make a pilgrimage up Black Mountain to be blessed by this holy relic, right? Now, I sit down and watch it. I start crying halfway through.
Wow.
And near the end of it made me cry.
Sorry, so this is a documentary?
Yeah, a short documentary that was in the competition shorts. It was, unbelievable.
First out the gate, and it was unbelievable. Like, as soon as it came on, I was like, oh, yes. I was like, even, like, I was just so excited to see more of them, because sometimes you can go at film festivals and there's things that aren't your taste, and that's right. That's fine, like, because, not everyone's making a film that's for us. Like, but I just felt like that first one was like, I was like, oh my God, if any of them are even remotely like this, we'll be laughing. But the film was very beautiful. Like, it was a documentary, but it was very heavily like stylized, and very like it kind of looked like, I know it was got to do with like religion and the kind of mystique of it, but it really looked like a Caravaggio painting almost, because of the way it was lit. Like, it was kind of old, these kind of older faces with this very soft lighting on them and very magical. It was very good now.
It's an interesting synopsis of a film, isn't it? I want to watch it immediately.
Immediately, because the text comes up, like, he writes about what it's about.
Yeah.
So you're instantly kind of like, what the
It's actually a good example of how to write a synopsis there, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's
really good.
And the subject, I guess.
One of the hardest things ever.
Because it is, because like I hate it, but no, it was really well put together, and very good storytelling, and also just really nice and weird. Like, it was up in a mountain in Belfast, Belfast, in like a prefab, and it was a church in a prefab, and this old guy has the bandage and he's kind of shaky because he's very old, but anyway, very great.
Very beautiful. It's like I love that it would be something that you'd write, but it was not written.
Yeah,
did you get me? It's like something that you like, specifically you two probably would write, because it's like, it's very strange. It seems in the world that we kind of like live in, but they didn't write it. It was like actually happening, so it was great. It was so good. But the other one then that I thought was very good then after that, so it just kept going and just kept getting, there was more and more films that were unbelievable. But the one about Disneyland, or what's that called?
Yeah, so this is like a really great one. I love this one. It's called Ultraviolet. Ooh. And it's directed by Susan Hughes. So I'll try to read this. Okay, there's already a word I can't read. Okay. a phantasmagoric portrait of Donegal as a hauntological gold mine. Whoa. Stories bleed from every pore, revealing a rich tapestry of folklore, fairylands, and the construction of Disneyland Paris.
And actually, the way that he read that there is the way you watch it almost, because what was her name?
Susan Hughes, yeah.
So Susan was there, and they did like a question and answer after it, and she was saying that she's like a visual artist, which is usually, I just think it's really interesting when it's like a kind of, like an artist who's making something, maybe more so than like just a stray filmmaker or whatever. It's like they're, you're just getting like into a different world. But the same crack with that, like, even the way that's written alludes to the way that the film is. So I don't even want to like give spoilers or anything like that, but it's kind of in there. But basically, it just starts off as something and then just takes this fucking wild turn that you're like, you know, like that Rick Rubin thing when he says like when something's really good, you just laugh a little bit, and not because it's funny, but because you're like, wow,
Class.
it happened like halfway through it, and then I was like, this is unreal.
Yeah, because like one thing I noticed when I was watching them was like I like things that are. I know, like this is what everyone likes, but like you like to escape a little bit when you're watching stuff. So this was like when you're watching, you're kind of like, oh, it's okay, it's one, and then it's just you're like, what is going on here? And then you're really eager to understand, and your mind's kind of going, that's great, and it wraps up really lovely. It just bounces around to all these different weird stories.
And are these shorts?
These are shorts, yeah. So this one was like 20 minutes long, I think.
Nice.
But it was really good. Really weird connection between Donegal and Disneyland Paris, and then they bring it back to something else, and it's great.
Very good. Just really.
It's kind of like when Blind Boy is like, how Fanta made some mad thing.
That's what it's like. Yeah.
The link between the IRA and Fanta.
That's exactly what it's like. And then she linked it then back to kind of art as well. It was very artistic and personal. It was really, really great. No, you're right. That's actually good. Yeah. It is like that.
But also leaving it like it's still very like most of the films were very subtle still anyway. You know, they weren't like, you know, sometimes like you could watch like a documentary and then it's like, you know, this is the payoff. There are not really too much payoffs from these, like, which is really good. Like, I feel like maybe a bit more traditional documentary maker would be like, there's no story in that, you know, that kind of way, because there's no, like, you know, traditional arc or whatever, and it doesn't, you know, like, even though there is a twist in it, it's not really, you know, and I love that even more because it's more about, like, the feeling and the... You're just getting a bit more of a portrait of a person or a place.
Yeah.
You know? A sense of place. That's what they said.
That's what it was it?
It's not as traditionally like the structure.
Set up. Yeah.
Like on Netflix, the documentary where it's like, actually, it was the brother who
There's if you're waiting for that, there's nothing like that in it, which is I love that.
That's
but
good.
Super great films there.
Like they were all very.
They
good
were all
fairness,
brilliant,
but those two were really, I think, our favorites.
Yeah,
they were the competition shorts.
They were standouts big time. We had a coffee and we went back to watch Mark Cousins. So Mark Cousins is he's a filmmaker, a journalist, you know, artist, I suppose, in every aspect of it. Someone who really studies like film and, you know, really nerds out on, you know, process and people and all that. Used to do a big kind of journal show on BBC. Actually, it's on YouTube there. I was watching some of it the other day. Did you ever watch that now?
No.
Where he goes to like really famous like actors or filmmakers, and he sits with them in his apartment in Edinburgh and watches films. Well, I was watching. He did one with Sean Connery. It's really good, man. You'd love it because it's like a documentary. Like, and I find him very likable to listen to because like. You know when they say like journalistic kind of gonzo styles, like where they're just kind of showing up, it's kind of like that, but it's like in the 90s or whatever, you know, so he's this ball of energy, and the one with Sean Connery is really good. Just watch it. It's like he just arrives at Sean Connery's house and Sean Connery's just like kind of like, what's this, that, and he's jumping around and he's ran into his house. He's like, can we have a look in your like bedroom? And he's like, yeah, I suppose. And then he takes him over to his house and they sit and watch his films, and it's really good. It's really genuine conversation, and Mark is very he's very clued in on like the filmmaking process and that from being a filmmaker. So it's really interesting for, you know, people like us maybe to watch. Anyway, so Mark he did these couple of epic things where he made this like 17-hour series. Basically, it's not like one full film, but it might as well be.
Is it? I think it is though. Or is it a series, or is it?
Well, I suppose you can watch it from. I think they do show it like in a marathon, whatever. But he did one's called the story of film, and it's about narrative films. But he was showing his new series, which is called the story of documentary film. That mightn't be the names of them, but I think it is.
I think it is.
But anyway, same crack. He's basically went back to the very start of documentary making, and then through the 17 hours, he's whatever, but he's premiering each of them, so they're literally just out. You can't really watch them anywhere but film festivals. But anyway, me and Calvin know Mark Cousins from a film that he made a long time ago, which maybe Pat told us about, or maybe Sight and Sound. I don't know.
I think it was into Sight and Sound. Pat, my uncle Pat, would always buy Sight and Sound magazine and give me the Sight and Sound magazines.
But Mark Cousins made this film called I Am Belfast. And he is from Belfast. I think he lives in Scotland now. But
I was thinking of that Belfast thing there, not that.
No,
it's not that. But I know you think that because both are
Belfast. Yeah.
There is a similarity in naming.
But this film is like, it's something that I feel like definitely influenced like most things that I do anyway. Because in the film, Mark and Christopher Doyle actually shot that film.
Did he shoot that?
Yeah.
That's very
Wong
strange.
Kar-wai's guy.
Yeah, because I was just about to say to you there. I was about to say Mark Cousins kind of reminds me of him.
Yeah,
because they have curly hair and they're kind of mad,
Yeah.
kind of like punks or something.
Yeah.
Are they?
He
Like,
shot
so-
that film with, I think, with Mark anyway, but maybe it's all his visuals. But anyway, they basically went around Belfast and just like shot anything going.
Unreal.
But Mark's style, I suppose, is like he kind of manipulates things by speaking over the top of them to make them something different. So there's like a great scene in the I Am Belfast, and he's talking about like, you know, the tension in Belfast and whatever. There's two people walking towards each other, and it's like a wide shot on a street. Two people walking towards each other, but he kind of pauses it before they get to each other, and then he goes, "Are these two men friends? Or are they enemies?" Or, you know, I'm butchering it right now, but like, that's the gist of it really, and it's really interesting. And then there's like kind of this tension built, and then they just walk past each other. He unpauses it and they just walk past, but it's really good. Yeah, really lovely way of you know. But anyway, in the film, Belfast is kind of personified as this old woman who kind of walks around Belfast and talks as if she is Belfast. It's a very beautiful film. It's 100% would recommend to watch it. But anyway, Mark was there and he was showing this new story of documentary film, and he did a little bit of a question and answer after it. It was just fascinating to hear. Again, I just felt like that's someone that I really align with in the way that they think about films and the way they talk about films, the way they make films. So it was really good. You know, sometimes like you're kind of like, is there more like us, you know? Yeah. Especially not like, you know, within reach of ourselves, like, you know. So it was great.
Admittedly, when you were writing about Mark Cousins in the group chat, I did for a good long while thought you meant your father's cousin.
Oh yeah.
Mark's cousin.
I was like,
Mark's
wow,
cousin made a film.
really like connected kind of guy.
There you go. Yeah.
No, he's a really cool guy, and the Sight and Sound magazine, he used to write an article in it. You know, magazines, when I was younger, I would buy the magazines because I wanted to make films, and I would think I had to read all of it, but I'd find a lot of it very boring.
Yeah.
To be honest, I only used to read his thing and then look at some reviews, because his thing was a really short thing and it's just nice little things. And I know what you're thinking, Ryan. 16-hour documentary, the history of documentary, sounds very boring, right? It's actually not, because I was like, I hadn't watched it before, and then like I forgot about his stuff because I haven't seen that in a long time, and I was like, I wonder, will this be good history? You know, history.
Yeah.
But
is it going to be like a lecture?
Oh man, it starts out this great video. So he's showing like we looked at the very start of history of it. Was it? I think we looked at the very first.
Some of the very first documentary.
1 hour, and he's showing like it from literally the very first. So it's literally like a lot of it is just like even home movies, like, but from like what 1880 or something like that. But he starts it with these videos of elephants. Like, so one's from TikTok, one's from 100 years ago, and then the other's from some other time. But he's comparing how they're all different elements of documentary making, and how, like, you know, even with the likes of TikTok now, like, everyone is a documentary maker now. And he just shows how... What I really liked about the elephant example was he showed, like, it was kind of like, even in the whole thing of the history of documentary, it was like, you don't have to be a filmmaker to make documentaries, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like, you can, like, or not that, well, you are a filmmaker if you make documentaries, but I mean, is like, it started out with people documenting things. You know, and then like we were like, wow, it's so simple and nice to look at, like even the TikTok thing, and Yeah, like he's really interesting, and looking back at the old history of things I never had seen before, and then it's like they're really documenting things and letting it be what it is, and being excited about documenting the thing and not trying to make something else out of it. And I found the whole thing very relaxing, and even what he was talking about was...
Yeah, I agree, because like he said one thing, and I said this when I was talking about my film the next day. Like he basically said, like on the most basic level, like what a documentary is like, look at this thing. Isn't that cool? I think that's cool. You should look at it too. And that's it.
It's cool.
And I was like, so I love that. And like what you're saying about just documenting a thing, you know, for it to be not an else but a document of it, which is really interesting. And I feel like that's what I kind of am obsessed by anyway. And that's like why Millie Walsh and the Fly and all that came about, because that's weird. That keeps turning off. That all just came about because I was like, this thing is happening, and I just want to like show it to like someone, you know. But I also, you know, because a lot of those films are really old, and I didn't know, like, I think it's really, what I think is really interesting about that is that, you know, sometimes I think they're too old for us to get into, or maybe even like I'm like, oh, how would you relate to any of that? But the way he broke it down was like, I was like, this is so good, because I feel like we see the derivatives, like the next levels of all those things, and if you could if you could go further back to where those people learned it from, that's where it kind of came from, and that's really interesting. But the way he did it was very contemporary, and he, you know, I think
fun.
Very fun. He knows how to make something that people would like, you know, to watch and be interested in watching. So it was very good. The other thing that I thought was really cool about that was, see, when they start, you know, like even back then, there was two things I actually thought very interesting, right? There was one bit he showed this, he was kind of discussing about like what a documentary is and how you could make something very pure, you know, like you might think like, you know, a documentary has to be like 100% truth, but by the time you put a camera on anything, there's nothing that's really truth anymore, but in a way there is. There was one clip that he showed, right, and it was like a family. It was like a man and a woman, a baby, and they were just like rolling. You know, it's black and white, it's all grainy and stuff. And he was like, "This is them documenting them having their dinner, their tea outside their house, or whatever." And he's talking over the top of it or whatever, and there's a woman, and he says, "Look at the woman, she's drinking a fake cup of coffee. There's nothing in the cup." But he just explains her doing the motions, and then you're really visible on her, and he's like, this is not real, like she's doing this for the camera. So is that really documentary? But then he keeps talking, he says, now a gust of wind comes across the table and the baby kind of goes like this, because like it's feeling the gust of wind. He's like, but that's real, that's a real part of this, you know, kind of made up scene or whatever. And he said there's always like this moment of like reality in that stuff.
Yeah,
which I just think is
like
very
the best part of the scene. Everyone's like, look at the baby.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
it kind of made me think. But you know, you watched that Andrew Callaghan on Louis Theroux.
Oh yeah.
So they're kind of
wow, worlds colliding there. Brilliant. It's like a crossover.
Yeah.
Do you listen to it?
Yeah.
Do you know when they're saying like?
I didn't click some as fast as ever. It was like
yeah. He's like, oh whoa, the two lads. I can't believe it.
But there was one part where maybe saying about like that, like what is it really real? Like people are kind of, you're performing obviously when you put a camera on them, and Louis was saying that he does a thing where he says to them after the interview like, now we're just gonna go over here and get like a bit of B-roll,
wide shot,
and
then when they go and do that, they kind of feel like
it's
we're
over
done now,
yeah.
And then like they usually say some mad shit, but that doesn't really happen or whatever. Yeah. So that's,
I like that. So, but you see the way you're even said there, he'd hate that because he's like, do I do that? No. Oh, I hate to think that I do a trope like that. To hear him saying that's funny, and then Andrew Callaghan's like, you do that, though. Or he says you do a puppy dog thing. And someone's talking, and then the people talk more, and he's like, "Oh, do I? Oh, it's real funny."
Yeah, because then he's acting there again. Yeah. But no, I like that. So that was, So then the next day we went and they played the selection charts.
Yeah, yours. Yeah, next up then was Connor English's short film Selection Shorts Program 1.
Yeah, which was in the Ulster Museum this time, which was great. It was like a big museum. It had dinosaurs and shit in it. Very cool.
Dinosaur out there. A lovely park out the front.
It's class.
T-Rex.
Really nice walk. We walked really far to it. We did a good bit of walking that morning. We got a nice coffee far away. Then we were walking up the week before the riots had been on. So at one stage we heard like some kind of scary drums.
Okay.
So we kind of kept going really fast. Then we turned around the corner. There's like 2,000 Pikachus, and the stormtroopers walked by us. Darth Vader walked by us.
Lots of anime.
Loads of anime people and wizards. So there was like a big Comic-Con thing on as well, and that was everywhere. And so then we were walking from one extreme to the other,
Which was so good because like we were literally just talking about like the madness of reality, really, and how like, two different things can exist at once. And that was like the epitome of it. Is like if you went down this road to the right, you would have been met with a bus on fire and drums, and then on this side there was load of like said anime people coming out of a church. It's great.
If you take the red pill,
yeah.
wake up in Neverland or whatever the fuck he says.
Give me the nerd pill. I want that.
The complexity of
Give me the
life was
Pokedex.
so good.
Today. But that was lovely in there. We went into that. I think we were nice and early.
Yeah, we got in there and had to sit down and we watched a lot of great films again. And the programmer called James Hall that's our shout out. It's James Hall. He was a legend. He was the guy who picked and helped pick the Roma, and then was flat out on the emails to me, making sure everything was okay. And we got a chat with James when we were there, but he was kind of introducing the films and did the little question and answer after it. But he said most of those films were about a kind of theme of a sense of place, and again a real good diverse mix of films, but definitely leaned into a more arty kind of like filmmaking, I suppose, art housey, maybe art as practice, documentary stuff. But again, at the basic level is like, here's a thing that I think is cool, you should look at it as well.
It's very good. There's one really nice one we watched. It came on just before Connor's, called Black Rock.
About Galway.
About Galway.
Jumping into the water there in Galway.
It's directed by Norma Heaney and Jesse Green. So
Yeah.
I read it out. A visually striking ode to Blackrock Beach, capturing the warmth of the community and the arresting beauty of sunlight glinting off the waves. Whoa. Really nice visuals and music. They had a saxophone on it, man.
The music was
there's
class.
a great atmosphere in it. To be honest, I was enthralled by the atmosphere.
When you head down.
No. No, I seen the film. It was beautiful, and really the saxophone. Oh man, it
Transformed it.
yeah, it's just loved it, and with the visuals and the atmosphere of the movie. 2 thumbs up. Peak.
2 thumbs up, I would say so.
Fantastic.
It was very beautiful. Yeah, I said it on the day, but I was very happy that Mines got picked with all those films because they were all so good.
Very well put together. Running order too. I think.
The program was very, very good. But yeah, the Roma played after that one, and you could see the similarities in what the person who was picking them liked, So it was nice to see
Their sensibilities.
Yeah, exactly. They all had a very good, same kind of feeling. I suppose.
Well, I think what was really great about it, right, was that I hadn't seen the Roma in ages. We worked on that ages ago, and I forgot how funny it was. Like, it's a real fun. I completely forgot it's funny. We were like, Connor had made it everything, and I came in just to kind of look at it and be like, I don't know, whatever, creative consultant or some sort.
Yeah, edit.
And editing I was down as, but I didn't
Yoda.
physically edit, but just with my mind.
Yeah. You were playing a Yoda figure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm Connor's mentor
Yeah.
and idol, so I had to tell him it's okay.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
but
it's good to go, man.
Yeah. No, we haven't watched it in ages, so I actually had forgotten about it. And as Connor was saying there, it's had a bit of a troubled past with rejection and stuff. Like, it didn't get into place, so we kind of like fell out of favor with us. Like, hadn't been in
A little bit. I was thinking about this earlier. I think maybe did fall out of favor with it a little bit. Still, like when I watched it the other day, I was like, this is class.
Oh, no,
but
when we watched it.
I think what happens though, sometimes I have suffered with the thing of I just want to do the next thing immediately, like, and not look at anything in the past really, and not spend time. I just like making the things.
Yeah.
I, like you said with the painter thing, if I was a painter, I'd paint the pictures and then fucking burn them and then just go on to the next one, because like that's the thing that really excites me. So I think what happened with maybe Shadowtown and the Roma as well, it's like Outer Heavens was next, and I was like, class, this is what I want to do, forget them other yokes, and then Bog Monster. So that's probably, I feel like the mixture of those two things.
Yeah, the mixture things.
And then getting rejected from film festivals, you kind of be like, fuck it.
Yeah, because then you're getting rejected. You're like, fuck.
Can affect your
that
mood,
one's no good then,
yeah.
or something, or it's not going to get into, especially a short, because like the shorts are really for film festivals, right?
Yeah.
With a feature, you can kind of go and like show it to her. But anyway, so we kind of were like, yeah, and whatever, man. Like I know not say this, but it literally like blew the roof off the place, right? So it came on because it's funny. So everyone's just pissing themselves laughing at it straight away. This title screen comes on. Everyone starts clapping at the title screen after 2 seconds. And now I don't know if they thought it was over or not, but they were like, whoa! It was like really loud. And then as the whole film went through, you could see the people getting more and more into it, laugh. Like the bits that like we had, Connor had put a bit in it. And like maybe like, because we always do this, right? But I was like, maybe we might only think this is really funny.
Yeah.
Everyone laughing their fucking heads off because it was a bold decision to use a certain bit of music, and then it's kind of like it's just funny. It's really funny, and it's about chips. People talking about chips and the family of chips, but the portrayal of it all is quite funny. But I'd totally forgotten, and everyone laughing their heads off. Great buzz off it. Everyone's fucking delighted. So it went from being that kept being rejected, and it was kind of this afterthought, almost like whatever movie. Then it gets, and it had been rejected, so people were like, no, nah. Put it into a cinema full of fucking people that love documentaries, and everyone's laughing their heads off and cheering. So it just like goes to show like how much of a gamble, and like how to not be taking the rejection serious, because it's one person kind of going, I don't know if I like this. Because even what I was saying to you, potentially like the programmers that brought it into Docs Ireland might be like, yeah, it's okay. But then when it's in the cinema, they're like, oh, it's really good because of the people's reactions. So you forget that the films are for the people. It's kind of like a performer or you know, in wrestling. In wrestling, pro wrestling, I love the idea of it, because there's a guy like I don't know what he's called, Booker or whatever, right? So he chooses who's going to be the next big star. So they'll be like, I don't know if this guy's good. A lot of the times, the weirdest people get over because the crowd chooses them, even though the Booker might be like, oh, and then they're like, okay, yeah, the crowd loves them. Yeah, same thing. You have to give it the crowd. So if you don't let them be seen, I found it very inspiring.
That's a big, massive thing about if you don't let it be seen, then sure, how can you... But that's what happens. You start judging it yourself, even though it's just sat on your hard drive there for a while. And that's like even about putting Shadowtown on YouTube there. I'm like, part of me was like, why is no one coming knocking on the door being like, here's your deal, boys, that's Shadowtown, unreal. Like, because no one fucking seen the thing.
Yeah, no one's seen it. Like, it has to go see... Loads of people have to see it.
Yeah, so it's like, no, it buzzed me up big time. It did. I loved it. It was great. It was good fun, and
laughing. That's what I thought was great. To laugh.
Laughing's the best, right?
It's hard to make a funny documentary.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Like it's
it's just, it is very funny about that, like what you're talking about, like about getting, because it's funny how much mind shit, I don't know if I put this in the podcast, but anyway, there's just so much mind stuff that like you do to yourself when you're like thinking about these things, like so much, especially when it sits there longer and longer. Like, I don't know if you even feel that about Bog Monsters, or you're like, longer and longer it waits, you go a bit mad with it, like, and start second guessing everything too much maybe. But like, even with that, like, say you didn't get into Galway or whatever, I was like, how did it, like, you know what I mean? Like, like, because then you're like, but Galway people know about Mullingar people, whatever. But then you put it up to Belfast. I'm not saying people in Belfast don't know about Mullingar people, but they probably don't.
But man, you know what? When they looked at that movie, I'm like, doesn't matter about Mullingar.
Exactly.
It went to a new level. It was like
So exactly what I was going to say. It doesn't matter because that proved it to me. Whereas before, you don't have anything to prove it to yourself. Like, you're thinking, if on paper before, you'd be like, well, definitely it would definitely get into Galway before it would get into Belfast. You know what I mean? Like, in your head, but you've nothing to benchmark it against. Like, but then when it did that, I was like, okay, well, it could literally play in fucking Japan with subtitles now, and they would probably think it was great as well. Like, you know. Whereas before that, you're in your head like, I'm anyway. So
you're kind of connecting a thing of
you're just trying to figure it out. You're trying to just, you know.
You have to be ignorant, I think. You have to be ignorant and arrogant with it.
You're kind of giving it a prerequisite.
Yeah.
You have to know about this thing for them to get. Yeah.
But that's because some people actually tell you that as well.
Yeah, they would tell you that, and they're like, oh
They
yeah,
won't
the
get
connection
this.
between Mullingar and God, what the fuck's that got to do with anything?
Or they would be like, they won't get this anywhere else if they don't know about like.
It's like a lot of Japanese lads making Resident Evil, like American, like really weird American people. It's like
we're all over here in Ireland being like, yes, but they actually do that in the Japanese game Final Fantasy, right? When I was younger, everyone loved that so much, and then they started to try and make it Western, and now no one likes it. They're all like, "Oh, get that shit away from us," because everyone liked the weirdness of the Japanese thing. Like.
That is the lesson in that, and I actually think about that a lot. Is I would not be trying to dilute your message so that or story or anything like that to fit an international audience. I would go the opposite way of that. I'd drill down even more so to make it like harder to understand if you weren't from that place, because I think it makes it so much more interesting. Like, you know,
I would love to see Outer Heavens from an American perspective. To be an American watching Outer Heavens, I think is interesting.
And then one thing that we like, one quick note is what we said there the last day. Every single film that we watched, majority of the Northern Irish ones had subtitles in them, because
full subtitles like in the whole way through.
The whole way through
you can't understand something.
Exactly. They have an accent there, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, so I felt so much better about everything that we make having subtitles. And like what Calvin said, who was the director? Boone? No.
Which is this for? What's this for?
The guy who made Parasite. What's the name?
Who? I'm not even going to. I'm not even going there.
Just put it.
We'll put it here.
Whatever I'm going to say is wrong.
Anyway, Calvin said this to me. He said, "Why let a 1-inch barrier stop you from experiencing international cinema or something like that?"
A whole new world or something.
Whole new world.
It's going to be a brainy quote. What's that? Good quotes.
Brain quotes.
Anyway, I was like, that's so good. And we should just be doing that anyway. So it made me feel a lot better about that. But again, just get into your own local thing, because that's the thing that you probably most understand. And that's the thing that an international audience are probably the most interested in, because they haven't seen that before. Whereas like if you're trying to start making it like more global or whatever, you're going to dilute the concentrated bit that's class. Like.
But just about for Irish things anyways, actually I only know it from that perspective, but any Irish thing that does that is not good.
That tries to be more
it's terrible.
That tries to dilute it and make it more understandable for people. Like, and it's just nothing unique about it. It's definitely been done.
Because they're kind of doing that thing. They Americanize the Irishness, and that's okay for America, but Irish, there's such an it's so insincere, because nothing about Ireland is like the way American people act, because American people act like American people, Irish people act like Irish people, and then when you see an Irish film and the Irish people are acting like Americans, everyone in Ireland's like, no one acts like that here. It's really, really bad.
Look at all the Scottish lads in Boston.
Themselves.
The Americans just love them. The American women were throwing themselves at the Scottish men in kilts. You know what I mean? And it was their difference.
What is it you think the people are trying to sell the movies? Is it that they think, because America is like the main place, right, to sell movies, right, really? So are they trying to think that if they make them a bit more like
safe,
safe?
They're trying to make them more safe, I think, and then they're just trying to make them they're scared of not being understood or something like that, which is like a big, which is just a big kind of your own personal insecurity, I think, with it really. Because I think it actually, like you said, it does more damage than anything. And
there's probably two things as well. Like, I mean, it's probably like you're so used yourself of like seeing media through the lens of Americans that you're kind of creating things like that as well. It's one thing that I appreciate, actually, we were talking about this in text, is Cobb the Dude, the rapper. Like because like a lot of Irish rap stuff I can't connect with because they're actually talking in American or English terminology, but he uses his own voice and says our own dialect to make the music, so it doesn't feel bad. Then it feels good,
great,
and it feels sincere. There's like an insincerity that comes with the other stuff, because you're like, that would never happen. Like, I can't remember the name of this show, but it's like an American actor. It was in Galway. He was a detective in Galway. Do you remember that?
Yeah. What was that on?
I don't remember what was on.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's basically like CSI in Galway.
And it's like
he's so off.
Your man, a lad from Game of Thrones, was on it. I can't actually remember who he was, but I remember he's a detective and he throws a guy up against the wall.
It's when Netflix first came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you're like, an Irish lad would never do what he just did. No way.
Yeah, like, you know what? Like, this could be really wrong with me, but I believe that, like, you could not write like a film noir in Ireland. You know what I mean? It's just not an Irish thing. It's
LA
like
has to
it's
be
LA. That's fucking awesome, because we love American stuff, but when the Irish people try to do it, I'm like,
imagine like him wearing the hat and the big jacket, like, and going around like fucking Port there, like looking down alleyways.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't work, because you know what, I remember years ago, like, me and Ali were in the airport when we went to Paris, and we were like, look at all the French people walking around. So the French people are walking a certain way, and then I'm like, you can literally see the Irish people a bit like you know, like hobbling around, or kind of like a bit more weird or something. It's like, see, like, you couldn't make a French new wave movie over in Ireland. It's not happening. It won't. You know, they're real cool, smoking the cigarettes, sunglasses. You try to do that over here, it's like, what are you doing?
And like,
it's just that is the key thing from it, is the authenticity. It has to be authentic, or you'll just be like, this is shite.
And you can smell it a mile away.
You can feel it in your stomach. I feel it in my stomach.
Feels wrong. That's
you know, when you do it yourself, even, like, because it can happen sometimes.
And like, we basically speak like a fucking patois, like, do you know what I mean? Like Jamaican. It's a different form. It's a different language.
Okay,
Bart Simpson.
Ryan has delivered a physical script onto my desk. Unbelievable. He expects me to read.
It spent €15 printing it all.
Did you?
Fuck, man.
Where?
Two copies in the library.
Oh my god.
Very unhelpful people.
They don't like it. They don't like it when you're in it. I had to be got in. I never have my card or anything.
She was angry that I was She said, do you need them all? All the pages, like.
Why was she saying that? You can do it yourself.
She was like, I just forgot how to do it, and
well, you asking her, will you print this?
No, I was just saying.
Turned into one of these people now.
No, I was in there before and I printed it.
Are you front and back?
And she showed me, and then I went in. I was like, I forgot how to do it now. And then I said to her, I was like, I think you helped me print something before. Then she said, okay, come over here, I'll help you again. And
this crazy homeless
and no, she was just like, it's going to cost you a lot, you know. I said, that's okay, I'll take the hit. Yeah.
How many pages?
I think the two of them were 87 pages.
I forget.
But one is not 87 though.
Daddy's up making videos, boys.
Dilly daddying.
That's very exciting. So what's the story with when did you start writing this, and what's the crack with it?
I only started writing this really short time ago, like a month ago, I think, maybe.
You've gone mad, right?
5 weeks. I've read 3 first drafts of scripts.
There's a dog, big breeding,
really loud dog,
heavy
poor
breeding out there.
A poor dog. Yeah, no, I've wrote 3 first drafts of scripts. It is interesting because I think the one that you're working on at the time is the most interesting one. But I figured out that I'm good at I'm good at doing drafts of things, but probably not good at finishing drafts of things. Do you know what I mean? I can get things to. I actually kind of like what you're talking about there about making stuff. Like, you just really like the making of it, but then I do reach a certain point in it where it has to become a real thing, where then I start making a different thing altogether. It's kind of like there's a certain point in it that I really like. I'm getting myself out of that though, but I started like a month ago. I think when I'm writing scripts, I think I get an idea for a scene, but then I find out that scene doesn't really work in that thing. That scene is actually a film.
Oh yeah. It's actually a bigger thing.
Yeah, it's a bigger thing. It's like, oh, this is a completely different thing.
I'd often have the opposite problem.
Right. You haven't got enough things.
Oh, it's like, that's not even a scene.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, if I want a man to stand out there.
Tree.
Yeah. But that is good though, I think. Like not being too attached. Well, maybe it's not good not being too attached about what it is, just as long as it's a cool thing. I think it works in it.
Yeah, I think I've learned now how to do it, but I didn't know how to do it during Outer Heavens. But from doing Outer Heavens, I do know how to do it. It's like, I'm like, oh, you can just have like a lad walking and that's nice thing. You know, before that, when it's on paper, you're like, this isn't pushing the story along really well. So, you know, it's some of them, sometimes when you're writing a lot, you forget that it's going to be a film then as well. And you forget like how much less pressure needs to be on the script, because the film actually fills in a lot of.
Yeah, well, I think I'm after developing writing in a way that I want to allow for that more so, because I think I started out, and I think this is what scripts are, right? Like a traditional script, I'm after learning, is that the script is actually supposed to tell, say, like the filmmaking crew, everything. So the setting, the description of the person, like the mood. But I'm like, I actually don't want to write any of that stuff, because I want to leave room for dreaming. Let's say if the three of us are looking at something, you'll have an interpretation of that that's possibly more interesting, or even the actor has an interpretation that's more interesting than what I was going to write. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, it does.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying not to drip feed like what's in my head. So actually, like what I did say with that was I wrote a lot more, but then I removed all of the descriptive things and just left the action. Some descriptive things are in it because I think that's probably important, because I actually do have a specific thing that I'm thinking of. But like I'm not putting the age of anybody in it, let's say. So everybody in it is basically ageless.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to see what someone else thinks about that. Like, do you think it's a young person? Do you think it's an old person?
Yeah, because those are the things that you're just looking for, like a little bit of magic to happen, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And maybe if you were kind of too hell bent on it being someone 24, you might get a bit disappointed if they're not 24. Or
yeah, and I'm like, it's like, what does it really matter? Like,
exactly, you're keeping in the bits that you think are really essential,
Exactly.
and actually getting rid of the kind of stuff that isn't really.
Unless it's like really central to somebody to be a certain
yeah.
age. Like your man's grandmother's in it. She's obviously old.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do is change gender for them.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So I write someone as a man, and then I'll be like, maybe if this is a woman, I'll just change it into a woman. And then I like change it a little bit, but I like doing that. Sometimes I get bored or something, and then I'm like, wouldn't that be cool? I'm writing a thing at the moment. It's a thing I've been writing for years. It's called One Day the Wind Will Change.
Beautiful.
So I've been writing this for ages, but I'm kind of actually getting through it now. It's turned into its full thing. But anyway, I had this character in it for about 4 years now, and that I've always just thinking about it. I've kind of half written it loads of times. But anyway, the other day I was like talking to Ali about it, and I was like, would that really? And then she was like, no, that's kind of something that a friend would do. And I was like, that should be just a girl. And now it's a girl, and it's way better. And then I was like, who is it like? And then I was like, it's kind of like this person, and now it's just that person. But they're still doing all the things the guy was going to do. So is this the first draft? We're going.
This is kind of into second draft. I think it's short for a. It's 70 scenes, but it's script wise. Apparently, they want to be between 60 and 90 pages, because apparently a page represents a minute. But that's not like that, because there's some scenes that are written that are like atmospheric thing, or like maybe someone is just, I want someone to just stand somewhere that probably you wouldn't even shoot anyway, because you would probably be like, oh no, do you know what you should do with that? You should do this other thing. So I think what I'm trying to say is that I'm just trying to I think I developed my own writing thing that allows for someone else to look at and imagine their own thing, interpret it their own way.
Cool.
And I think I'm working by a philosophy at the minute for everything. Simple but strange.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I like
Like
it.
yourself.
That's
Put
good.
that as a clip for YouTube shorts.
Yeah. Bullying.
Yeah, Ryan will clip it there.
Yeah. Simple but strange. So
He
like
put it up on TikTok.
Yeah, we're waiting for Ryan to do this. He said he's going to clip up all our videos and put them on TikTok.
I've already explained that I had to re-upload WhatsApp and I lost everything. We're not really TikTok guys, anyways.
No, I don't think so.
I don't like being on TikTok.
I don't think we would. Yeah, I don't know. I know. I don't think so.
But anyway, I've found a fantastic passion in my life, and I just like writing things a lot. Like I get a good sense of satisfaction out of it. It's become a daily practice of I don't know, like making worlds. Really, really nice thing. I even like when I'm after writing something and I look back on it and then I think like this is not good. I can go fix it now.
Yeah.
And
Not panicking.
yeah, and it's
It's
kind
a
of
lot of work though, isn't it? Sometimes because like when I was changing the girl into the man or the man into the girl, I was like, I have to rewrite a lot of this now because there's like certain parts that
Yeah.
there's a kind of romantic part, but I've left that in because I was like that's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
But I had to rewrite certain parts of it because I had to change her into a different kind of person. But then you're like, oh Jesus, that's like it's like 25 scenes I have to rewrite. But once you get into it, then you enjoy it, and then it starts to develop into, and then you can see that character change, and then you're like, oh, this is so much better now.
Yeah, and the whole thing, I don't know, when it starts to click for you, it really is good. And to be honest, there's like things I have to get over for myself because I have I don't know if you're like this or not, but I have a terrible habit of like kind of being like, this is shit. Like, oh no, it's shit now.
I think that about everything.
I'm gone weird at the moment. I'm like, no, this
No,
is
but it's-
class. I think everything's class.
Well, I go through
through
both.
stages.
Like, yeah.
Well,
At some point,
where I was going with that was like I'm actually I feel like I'm developing as a person because of doing this, because I'm actually getting less like that.
Yeah, no, I find that you get less like it. Even like I feel like that about we were talking about the rejection thing now. I just don't give a fucking shit now about any of that.
It's like giving me more self-esteem, I think, and like it's making me trust myself more.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think when you get to that point, it's like like what you said, I can go and fix it now.
Yeah.
It's like before, like I don't know if ever, but I've always got to the point of thinking something shit, but I always know that if I just keep working at it, I'll get it somewhere. It's like, if a sculptor had this like, thing, and at one point he's like, oh, it's really great, and then they kind of did something too much and they're like, oh shit, that's not as good, and then they're like, but I know if I just keep doing whatever I'm doing, I don't know what I'm doing, but if I keep doing it, I'll get it back, like, to be
100%.
something, and that's great.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. There's something beautiful about having something that you can just go into every day, and it's like probably I would say by writer's terms, I'm probably not good at writing, but like for my own thing that I'm doing, because it doesn't even matter because. Well, like I'm like in between two worlds at the minute where I'm really interested in writing, but it's all for film. Yeah. Like I think I think I would enjoy mostly the payoff of it being a film rather than it being a piece of
book.
writing. Yeah. Even though I love writers, like, and I love writers' philosophies, like they're really interesting to go into. Your man, what's his name, Alan Moore?
Yeah.
He's a goldmine of stuff. Like he does a series on BBC on the YouTube that is really, really, really good. Like that's where I heard that stuff where you were saying about letting characters have their dignity and stuff like that. Listening to his stuff has changed all of that stuff because, so that script in particular, I started off thinking about that guy as being a pathetic guy. Like he's like a loser, but then I was like, nobody's really a pathetic loser. Like
No.
like at one point we were all just babies. Do you know what I mean? Like we have the same level of like dignity or like innocence.
Yeah.
And like unfortunately for some people, shit things happen in their life that made them act a certain way.
Yeah.
But like nobody has no dignity or like and I think that's probably where the most interesting stories are.
Yeah.
There's people that don't have that stuff fully figured out, and like even if you think someone's a fucking loser, like when they go home, like if there's somebody there for them or even not, like to have some level of like everybody has humanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's like there's like some sort of redeemable beauty
Absolutely.
in there if you just look at it.
Well, that's a great segue into
Burt. Okay, yeah, let's do Burt quick. I'm
Burt's
getting
like that kind of
sleepy, man. It's too hot.
Burt is like that. It's a comedy. So it was the other day we saw this
No Film School
No
podcast.
Film School podcast, and what are the guys' names on it? Let me see. I have it here, screenshot.
Oliver.
Oh, I didn't screenshot. God,
Oh my goodness.
that's good. What's it called?
So we listened to this No Film School podcast. It's pretty good. I used to follow them when I was on social media and stuff, and they always put up kind of good stuff.
I know the website.
Yeah.
It's very good, but I didn't actually know they had podcasts. So
I didn't either. I think I got like a newsletter maybe
Yeah.
or something.
well, this came up with the title $7,000 feature film 7 days.
Yeah.
And that seems like something that we'd be into.
Yeah.
So Calvin listened to it and then he sent it to me.
Something
Thanks,
they
thank
listen
you.
to your video.
They listened to mine because I actually did zero money in 3 days. So, you know.
I'm going to do half a day minus money, making money.
Make $1 million in one day.
1 hour, 1 million.
No, but it really, it was good because it caught my attention, and we've been thinking about a lot of this lately ourselves, that they're self-distributing the movie themselves, and it's interesting to see what they're doing. Like, I was listening to what they're doing. It's very, very interesting in how they're pushing it, because then I started thinking, like, you could actually just self-distribute yourself, like, in terms of like it. You're able to get to the channels of what kind of some of the distribution companies would be doing for you now. So they're like running ads, going talking to podcasts, going newspaper. Now they're gone hell for leather on your man. So you send 50 emails a day. One thing I thought was cool is he's going looking at like TikTok and social media reviewers and sending the film to them, which is
Very
cool.
nice,
And
yeah.
he said even if they've small following or that, I thought that was very clever. And but the film has won awards, and it's out now, and watched it last night on Apple TV, and it's brilliant.
It was very, very good. And even without knowing any of that stuff behind it, you know, sometimes you're kind of conscious of knowing like that may be affecting your bias on if it's going to be a good film or not, or if you can let things slide because you know it was did in 7 days or $7,000 or whatever. But genuinely very, very good filmmaking, I thought. Great film, full of like feeling and just, again, stuff that I think we really align to in terms of making it, but also things that we enjoy watching, you know, like using non-actors, using very simple locations and using very simple kind of story of nothing really kind of happening, like really like a very... when I was watching...
Slow.
It's funny when you watch those, it's like the actual storyline takes a backseat a little bit.
Yeah, because it's like, when I was watching, I was like, you would really like it,
I'd watch
Ryan,
it
right?
tonight, yeah.
Because it's like, when I first started watching it, it was like reminding me of like King of the Hill or something like that, in the sense that I love watching them. It's like a slower pace, but it's showing like, because we're in Ireland, we don't get to see America.
Yeah.
It's like like cool shots of the house
Yeah.
where they're living. They're in their house. You're seeing their garden, and it's like really different than over here. And I just like that, like
Yeah, that you're getting to live in that little world that you haven't seen before. I totally agree. I think that's like so cool. But yeah, it's almost like those things kind of outweigh the story a little bit, even though the story is still really good and it's really important to the film, I suppose. But it's like the story doesn't have to keep saying this is what the story's about, you know.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
like,
love that.
Yeah, you can see like so the main guy in it he's an older guy. I think he's 70 and he has Parkinson's disease, and he is a musician. And this guy comes to see him, and won't spoil it, but the guy Burt is like so really lovely and likable, kind of warm man. Actually, Ali was watching it with me, and there's a certain part of it, and the way he acts, like he's got like honor, a real strong honor with him or something. And even though he's just basically a regular guy, right? But
yeah, he's a non-actor, just a guy that these guys knew. So like, imagine like one of the kind of people that we know.
Yeah.
And they said in the podcast they put him in like a short film, like a 10-minute short film as a secondary character, just to see if he'd work, if you could act, basically, or not even act, because I don't even think he's acting. I think he's just being maybe himself,
he's being
really.
himself. But when Ali came in, and she only watched it from halfway to the end, and she's like, I love this guy.
Yeah.
And then she was saying like, he's like a real good example, like, of a real good man.
Yeah.
It's like a real, like, and he's like a real good example, because the younger guy that comes to meet him is kind of like, I guess he's looking up to him. And he's a real strong example, like, what I don't know what you call, like, a good guy.
Yeah, like good morals or something. Like, he's really kind of like guided by like his actual mission in life, and I think that's where the beauty of using like someone like that, who is actually a real person. Like, that guy didn't have to act. That was like his thing, because I think he's a musician in real life, and he's kind of in the film talking about how his music can change the world. But I totally believe he believes that, because that's been his like life, thing for his whole life. So he doesn't have to put that on. I think that is the beauty of using like a real person, I think.
Yeah. And family, he's like real in family, wants to help. Doesn't even know this guy wants to help him through it. Yeah. Very, very, very good. Like, I know it is listed as comedy, but it's like what you were saying. It's like, it's much more. Yeah,
I wouldn't even classify it as a comedy, really.
No,
it's more just like a kind of drama, like, maybe, I don't know.
Lovely as well. Nice, real nice feel. It's kind of got that nice feeling that those like, those like one day films. Like, all right, I'm giving examples here that it's actually not anything like, right? So it's not anything like King of the Hill, right?
Toy Story 5.
No, but like Friday, like, the movie Friday, like, it's like all in the one day. Now I think this is over a couple of days, but it's got that lovely feel. And Tangerine as well.
Yeah,
it's like Tangerine. It's all in the one. It's got that nice. I don't know. I like that.
Same.
And for myself, I never even thought of doing anything like that. But I just love watching things where it's like you can kind of see, and it's a small little.
Here's
moment.
a dip in, of this person's life, and then you're dipped out again.
That's lovely, and you're right in their world. Like, you could really feel the world in it. And I love that. And
like
the guy was excellent. The roommate.
I was just about to say, there's a character in it, Steve, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know if he's an actor or just a whatever, but he was unbelievable, and he was so good. He was just a really great character in it, like, even the son was a great character, like, and I think he's one of the guys who made it. Do you find their names, actually?
Yes, sorry. Okay, so it's called,
if anyone's looking, they should look.
It's called Burt. It's made in 2005, and it's directed by Joe Burke and starring Oliver Cooper, Burt Berger, Stephen Levy, and Caitlin Adams.
Yeah, and Oliver's, I think, is the guy in it, is the son. He also made it, so yeah, again, same crack, like, just that like kind of DIY filmmaking. And the other thing that I thought was real good on the podcast, and I know we kind of know this anyway, but it's just always nice to hear it from like someone who's not in your circle about like waiting for the permission to make these things, really, because I think these guys maybe were saying, people sitting around for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years waiting for this $2 million budget to make a film, and it's like, yeah, but sure,
they never would have made that either.
They would make that. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, why wait for someone else to tell you to? And I kind of feel like that with the Shadowtown thing about putting on YouTube and stuff as well. It's like, I don't want to wait anymore with that stuff. I'm like, I'm just gonna try it this way, or kind of more kind of punk kind of way of just putting something out there, just to say this is how, keeping the spirit of the thing, like,
Yeah, and the other thing as well is like, because I was watching it because I heard about like all their stuff, so I was kind of watching. But then, like I said, like, as a stand-up film on its own, it really stands. Like, it's not like that is a way to get you to watch it or anything. That's just a really good story to have behind it. But as a standalone film, because Ali came in halfway through and was like, what is this? This is brilliant.
Yeah.
But like, I got it on Apple TV and I paid for it, and I'm like, I'm so glad I did, because like, there's so much, like, like, there is, like, I think it's really kind of happening now where people are like, we kind of want to see stuff that's a bit different now. And I think it's because like Netflix and all that and like a lot of them places they've engineered all these shows, like, like I have Netflix and never watch anything on it.
I can
like,
never watch
it's
it.
all, a lot of it is just like, I'm like, it's just so, what is it called, cookie cutter or whatever, same thing
It's
over.
just like,
Where then this thing just stands out, a lovely new fresh fucking thing that you haven't seen really before. And
yeah, no, because you're right. Because immediately as soon as it came on, I totally forgot about the 7 day thing.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
just
I didn't
like
even think of that.
engrossed in the actual story of the film and stuff, and it really very inspirational. It made me be like, I'd love to make something like that. I'd love to make like a narrative film with like some of our friends that I think could fit into those, like, you know, we know. And then it becomes, you know, you're kind of half. I think the lads are talking about that. They kind of made documentary / narrative type things, and that's kind of the same crack. Like, you know, it's quite nice to put a little story on.
Yeah, and like what you're saying about all the Netflix stuff and all that, like, but sure, look at even in the box office the last
it's
month or two,
showing,
the Backrooms and Obsession, they made more than the Star Wars movie.
Yeah, madness.
I think.
Yeah.
did they? Yeah,
The
wow.
Backrooms certainly made more. It was
Mad.
like
Yeah.
so like
Now is the time.
there's a hunger for different kinds of
Different,
stories.
yeah, something different. People want new stuff now. They're sick of it now.
But
Let's
that-
wrap it up,
then
boys.
pause it.
Thank you very much for listening to the Station Road podcast. Jennifer.
Simple but strange.